Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Good morning, guys. How we doing on this Friday?
Good morning, Jenny. How are you?
I have one thing to say today. How about them Cowboys?
Skip, you ought to be.
Yes! Finally, Jerry. Thank you.
Woo!
Well,
You good?
before we get to your favorite
Get out of your
topic,
system.
I want to take the time to wish my mom a happy birthday. Today's her birthday. Happy birthday, Mom.
Good
And the
for her.
check's in the mail.
Ooh,
Okay.
nice. Good reminder.
Skip.
You know, big day.
Man, I dropped my notes.
Now.
Where my
Did you
notes go?
drop your notes?
I did.
You're going to need those, Shannon. We got a lot to get to today.
You're in trouble in so many ways.
As we
because
head-
life just changed.
Yeah.
Life is changing
Yes.
around here. We're heading into Wild Card Weekend. Will tomorrow be Tom Brady's last game as a Patriot? Plus, we'll walk it to him Wentz. Extend the Eagles' winning streak into the playoffs. But first, we have to talk about the huge news out of Dallas last night. According to Ed Werder, Jerry Jones and the Cowboys have decided that Jason Garrett will not be a part of the organization moving forward. The move was expected but has dragged on all week, and there is still no official word from the Cowboys. Garrett's contract officially expires in 11 days on January 14th. So, Shannon, was this the right move?
Yeah, Skip, I believe it was the right move. I believe it's time for both sides to move on. It didn't really make any sense. What I couldn't understand, you didn't extend Jason Garrett, Skip, after winning the division and winning a playoff game, but you were contemplating bringing him back after going 8-8 and missing the playoffs. What I think happened, Skip, I really believe Jerry Jones wanted to bring Jason Garrett back. But Steven, who's taken a more active role, who's really... He's going to probably be the guy that once Jerry do step aside, he's probably going to thrust himself in Jerry's position.
Oh, I think he's thrusting. Yeah.
And he's like that. This might have been the first time he ever called him Dad. He's like, Dad, but no, he called him Jerry. This can't happen. We talked about this in the offseason. There was a reason why we didn't extend him.
Sure.
If we didn't extend him after winning the division in the playoff game, how can you bring him back after going 8-8 and missing the playoffs? That makes no sense, Jerry. And Jerry thought about it. Now, it's being reported, Skip, that third meeting didn't happen because I guess Jerry was in Aspen and somehow they had some problems getting out and it didn't happen. Maybe that was maybe had that meeting happened, maybe Jason could have talked himself into staying another year.
Highly possible.
Maybe that was in the cards. Maybe, you know, God works in mysterious ways. And so he put it so Jerry wasn't going to be able to get out. But Skip, look. Let's be all the way 100. The Cowboys have a very inflated view of themselves. Everything is based on marketability, not winning. Because since the last time they won the NFC championship, 20 teams have more playoff wins than the Cowboys. And since they last won the Super Bowl, Skip, only 3 teams hasn't made an NFC title game since then. One of them happened to be the Cowboys, Washington, and Detroit. So this notion that the Cowboys, they win, once upon a time, they did win. But, Skip, it was time for them to move on because now I want players held accountable because no matter how bad a player played or how bad an offense or a unit played, you could always scapegoat Jason Garrett. No more. Because that's what happens, Skip. You do understand this. You covered this game long enough. You know once they remove the head coach and a new coach comes in, you can't scapegoat that guy. Because, like, whoa, you said that last year. It was Jason Garrett's fault. Now, what are you doing? So it was time to move on. It's time for Jerry to find out what it's like to have a new voice in there. He wants a new voice. He and Steven, they come to the conclusion they needed a new voice. Hopefully, everything goes accordingly. But it was time because Jason had just become basically Jerry's punching bag, and everything that went wrong with the Cowboys, it was his fault.
But you have been defending Jason Garrett of late on this show, even calling him your pet name, Red.
Because, for me, I just think that it's just so easy because he's low-hanging fruit. He doesn't have the cachet. But everything that went wrong, Dak didn't play well, that's Jason's fault. Zeke didn't play well, that's Jason's fault. The defense didn't perform, that's Jason's fault. Now, Jason has been removed. It's going to be interesting to see who they blame now moving forward when a unit or a player doesn't play well.
So I'm going to reiterate what I have been saying for years on this show. I was done with Jason Garrett after the 2012 football season. I said on national TV, enough is enough. He's not a commanding officer. He's not a general. He's not a motivator. He's the least inspiring head coach in the National Football League, and now he has been that low these 9 seasons. 7 more seasons have passed since I first called for this man's job. So allow me first to say that yesterday afternoon was another nightmarish roller coaster ride for me. I went from supreme deflation to ultimate elation. And I hope you're right that Stephen was the voice of reason, because it may have come to that. Maybe yesterday. I have no idea. But all I know is I've known Ed Werder at ESPN for a long, long time, been in the trenches with him covering the Dallas Cowboys. And his first tweet in sort of midday was this one. He said, I can tell you this, people inside the building have begun to wonder if Garrett is going to have a role with the 2020 Cowboys, whether as head coach or in another capacity. That's where I was until West Coast time late last night when the other tweet dropped. And it was breaking news. And I'm hoping that the news will stay broken, because there's still always that chance that Jerry would wake up today and read the headlines and say, I'm going to go back to Jason, because there's still been no official announcement from the Dallas Cowboys. So let's cover our base on that one, because you never know with this guy, because I never knew that he would drag this out all the way to Thursday night. I don't get it. And yet the quote from Ed Werder in his, when the bombshell dropped, was that Jerry and Stephen wanted to treat Jason with an abundance of care and respect. Well, why would you let him twist in the wind all week? Why would you keep talking to him when clearly everybody was reporting it's a foregone conclusion? He's gone. So why would you have...
You build a man hopes up thinking he can keep his job.
And there were quotes yesterday from players about their exit interviews in which they were stunned to hear Jason Garrett talk in the future tense as if he were going to be the head coach. That all the exit interviews were, next year we're going to... Right?
Yes.
It wasn't thank you, goodbye. It was, hey, let's get better.
Because you remember, hold on. You saw the NFL films part where Gary Brown was on the sideline talking to the running backs. He said, now, if they get rid of me, I want you to know, guys, to know I look at you guys as my son. I appreciate everything. So he was resigned to the fact that there's a very good chance that I'm not going to be here. But Jason Garrett was talking, I'm good.
Okay. So if I can accept that this is the end, finally, of Jason Garrett, I want to congratulate Jerry Jones for finally reaching down and having the guts, and it did take some guts, to cut ties with his son, Jason Garrett, and finally leave that 8-8 comfort zone that Jason was so great at creating, because we all know Jerry was so comfortable with Jason. He's so easy to work with. I know Jason from the days I covered him as the backup quarterback. You've been around him a little bit to know. He's very personable.
He is.
But he's not charismatic. And there's a big difference between personable and easy to get along with and dynamic, right?
Yes.
He's not dynamic. He's just a really good guy. He can really talk a good game. He can talk football. Remember, his father was a longtime coach in this league, a longtime scout for the Cowboys. He's got 2 brothers who have been in college and pro football at various levels. He came from a football family. Jerry Jones considers him a little bit like Cowboy royalty, like he had a legacy that you don't disrespect. You keep it in place because, by golly, it'll break through at some point. But Jason Garrett was always just good enough to keep. That is an indictment for the coach of America's team. Just good enough to keep. To me, it reminded me last night of these commercials we see almost relentlessly from AT&T, and they're really good because they're so funny. Just okay is not okay.
Good.
Well, could Jason Garrett and Jerry star in the next Just Okay is not okay? Because it's just okay. He was always just okay. He's not a bad coach. He's just not a good coach.
But see, Skip, you and a lot of people are falling into the trap that the Cowboys is this New England Patriots. And they're not. They're just another team. They're just another team. They happen to be America's team, but Skip, they don't win.
Time out. Time out. Do you realize that as we speak, no team in the National Football League has as many Pro Bowl players as my Cowboys do? They have 15 on the roster. These are players who have been Pro Bowl players. 15. Nobody has 15.
Wow.